Kiana. Yeah, maybe during the roll call. You do roll call and then we'll introduce. Okay. Are you ready?
All right, will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Randy Hayden.
Here.
Mari Perot.
Here.
Janet Lloyd.
Here.
Maggie Weimer.
Here.
Jenny Requay.
And I would like to introduce Kiana Takaki, right? She is one of our student reps. She is a junior. Would you like to say anything else about yourself?
Not really, you covered it.
She will be one of our students attending the Skill Center this year. And so she comes from a line of board members. Her grandfather, Pete Selvig, was a longtime board member. So she is here as our student rep. So welcome.
Thank you. Any correspondence? No? We need an approval of the consent agenda. All those to approve. Second. All in favor? Aye. Kiana? I guess it passes.
It's too tired.
It's good. All right, then we need a motion to approve the regular agenda with one correction. Item M now is the high school improvement plan, and then everything just moved down one.
And it is an action item.
You need a motion.
Yes, we need a motion.
I move we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second. Yeah.
Let's see, yes or no.
Nobody's opposed to it. All right. I'll get there. I'm out of the swing. It's summer for all of us. All right, district reports, PSE.
Tonight for our PSC report, PJ and I decided to switch it up a little. This last week, when talking to the different classified departments in preparation for our labor management meeting, an interesting question was brought to light. They say, does the school board and the public really know or understand what roles the classified employees have and the cuts we've incurred? I couldn't answer. I don't know the answer. I know we've done surveys in the past and asked that they be shared with you, but I can't say if they were shared or if you looked at them. And I know we haven't had any acknowledgement or feedback from any of you guys regarding them. So I feel that now that the levy is passed and we have a bit of a restart, it might be a good time to reintroduce ourselves and at least tell you what we do and why we feel we are so vital to the district. I'm going to hand that part over to PJ, but first I have one other little interesting bit that I dug up. So some fun and positive information that might be known, but I'm sure it's suspected or might not know. So I was looking at out of our current 38 classified employees, I looked at their ties to the district, which ties into Keeling. How many were alumni? Do they have kids in the district? How about grandkids? Wait, how many spouses, parents, grandparents, and even grandparents that are alumni? So my grandmother, also Eric, our bus driver's great grandmother, taught at the school out on the Sauk Prairie in 1920s. So that was part of why I looked at it, and the answer is 33. 33 out of 38 of our classified employees have remained, returned, and expanded our district only to join and give back to the district that helped build them and their friends and family and community. And I just want to thank every one of them for all that they do and know that they're appreciated, and hope that you guys know and appreciate them too. And if PJ gets to tell you all about
And
it.
so my role in this conversation is, Heather asked me to talk about what exactly we do. What are our job descriptions and what do we bring to the table? And everybody knows that classified staff does bring a lot. Transportation, our bus drivers, they take the students to and from school safely and on time. They ferry the athletes, games, tournaments, and championships. They provide enrichment with field trips. Transportation are a familiar and consistent face in the start of the school day. They oversee up to 75 students and still maintain the ability to drive safely in all sorts of conditions. Unlike other schools, we do not have the extra help that we need sometimes on a crowded and behavioral issue control of our buses. We have lost 2 drivers routes in the last 2 years with cutbacks. Substitute drivers are limited and often we still have shortages. It doesn't help that nearby districts pay significantly more. We have tried the incentive and trained new drivers, but haven't been able to increase that number. We were lucky to have funding to purchase 2 new buses. Unfortunately, we also cut our mechanic for 4 hours, 260 days, benefits to 3 hours, 200 days without benefits. This equates to almost $16,000 in cash alone, not considering the loss of benefits. A step 5, 17-year employee. Our secretaries are our front line. The first to contact parents, community, and staff, welcoming at the door, keeping everyone informed, supported, and documented. Attendance reports, schedules, substitutes, emergencies, medical assistance, student behavior, and much, much more for our secretaries. They don't hear enough thank yous. Our library media specialist 2 years ago had 2 employees, 2 libraries. Last year we reduced to 1 employee overseeing both libraries, preschool through 12th grade. This year we have 1 3-day-week employee and accountable for at least 19,000 resources, books and other media related resources between the 2 buildings, a pay cut of $15,000 for less than $37,000 contract. The food service, through drive and dedication, our chef Amy has acquired free breakfast and second breakfast after the bell and lunch for all our students. No child should be hungry. But with these services and a lot would be, she brought the milk mechanics machines in to our district, fresh fruits and vegetables, local beef and favorite, our Tri-Day Friday. Giant hit with the kids and adults, and not to forget, last year she was recognized at the state level for the Rooted in Excellence Award for Nutritional Education. Last year, there were 5 food service positions cut, 5-hour food service positions cut, in addition to another full-time position being shifted to transporting meals to a new early learning center and staying to serve and clean up. This year, we are down 4-hour position formerly filled by a dishwasher. We don't know how that's going to pan out, but we're hoping it works itself out. Currently, we have a 4-hour, this is technology. Currently, we have a 4-hour, 212 technology worker. We no longer have computer labs, but every student is issued and uses a Chromebook as part of their curriculum and testing. This employee is tasked with the upkeep and troubleshooting of these, in addition to the staff laptops, Elmos, overheads, and other technology. Most of the district's technology department was outsourced and comes from outside our union these last few years. Our custodians, they keep our schools clean and safe, and during the school year, they also spend a lot of time and effort cleaning up vandalism in the bathrooms, cafeteria, and the buildings, keeping the school clean and sanitary, welcoming, and inviting. The summers are the biggest, busiest of the season, even above the illness season. The rooms are deep cleaned, everything is moved out, floors are usually given extra attention since there is a staff and student traffic, and everybody likes coming back to a shiny and the newness of a sparkling building. The wrench in this is that every summer there are new classroom assignments, teachers move around, come and go, custodians are asked to move all of their things to get rid of stuff, put stuff in storage, get new stuff out, build new, repair, find lost things, throw stuff out, list of can you, sorry, I forgot, I didn't know, go on and on and on and on. And their list of things to do in the summer to get ready for school to start is always moving target with a definitive end date. They are cut 5 days, but their biggest cut in the last 2 years has been the decision not to hire the extra summer help needed. They have had 2 to 4 seasonal workers for most summers that I can remember, including extra help for grounds and maintenance. Facility and the maintenance, this position oversees the custodial, the grounds, and is responsible for maintaining the plumbing, the electrical, the maintenance, the upkeep of the buildings and the grounds. The last position also has had cuts, even though there hasn't been a decrease in the facilities, and technically it's increased with the absorption of the early learning center to aging of the buildings, the septic, the vehicles, and other equipment. He has gone from 8 hours, 260 days, 2,880 hours to 6 hours, 260 days, 1,560 hours, basically 1/4 of his hours and paycheck. Grounds that 2 years ago this position was cut to the point that it was vacated by a step 5 employee close to retirement. The position was filled last August at 7 hours, 200 days, and this position did not receive any additional cuts, thank goodness. Last but definitely not least is your paraeducators. The position is hard to define in our district. The duties vary by the scheduling and the needs. They could be a meet and greet at the door, returning students to parents at the pickup line, supervising at recess, in the classroom or in the cafeteria. They could have small reading or math groups, instructing or supplementing learning. They may be one-on-one with the student. They could be providing daily toileting and monitoring health issues and behaviors. They can be at risk of receiving physical injury, emotional or abusive students, as they are assigned to help these students that need a break, to talk, to vacate a room for the safety of themselves and others. They come back day after day after day with hope, with smiles on their face, ready to start a new day and the connection of learning. Most of the paraeducators will be back. Some of the temporarily fill leaves, but still the same. They want to return, even though most have had an hour cut from their day due to the new start schedules. We are paid through 12 months, 180 days in the school year, plus holidays. Usually 188 days times 6.75, but this year it will be 5.75 times roughly $25 per hour, depending on years of service. The 1 hour cut causes roughly $400 of each month's paycheck before deductions. We pass these levies to try to get these school and cover this stuff, and we get cut an hour, and it just takes away from that little penny bank to try to cover your taxes. It's really, really tough. We all have a lot of hope in the coming years that this financial crisis that we are in is going to iron itself out for the benefit of the entire school.
Good job.
No comments.
All right, DEA.
Oh, Melissa's on here. And were you speaking, Melissa, for DEA? I can't unmute you, but you can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry I can't be there in person tonight. We just wanted to say that we are excited that we are able to have a few of our RIF staff members back this year. And then today was teaching staff's first day at work, and everyone was busy in their classrooms getting ready for first day of school next week. We're looking forward to a great year.
Okay, thank you. Student representative.
Do you have anything you'd like to share today, or are you waiting?
I'm waiting.
Okay, no, that's great. That's great.
High school.
I'll start. Today was the first day at the high school for teachers. Jesse Friddle and I have been in the last few weeks preparing for staff and students. Teachers had the day to plan in their classrooms, but there was a lot of positive energy in the air. It was pretty nice to see everybody back. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll welcome all 8th grade freshmen and any new students to our district at our orientation, where they will learn all about what the high school is. Students will receive pizza for lunch before being dismissed, and ASB is going to do a little presentation activity with the students. So that's pretty awesome. The rest of the week is full of a variety of professional development, and as I step into this new role, I'm just really grateful to have such a wonderful team at the high school. Great guidance from Tracy, and Cindy has some big shoes to fill. So there's a lot with that. And then Monday we will welcome all students back. So I think everybody's excited.
Thank you. Special programs?
Yes, we are working on getting the new students enrolled and looking at what their needs might be. We'll be meeting, I believe Thursday, we're going to have our meeting to go over some of those new students and double check schedules to make sure the needs of students that we already have on our enrollment, their needs are being met. I do not have a count for you today, but I will next month. And at this time, all of our positions are filled in special education.
Elementary?
Hi. I've had 2 weeks to prepare that, like,
Just like 5 minutes.
it was my first official day back. It's been really like a lot, to take in, obviously, but each day is like less overwhelming and more exciting with my new role. So Tracy can add anything else, but I think each day more excited. I'm really excited to really be there for the kids and the families and the staff and stuff like that, the best I can. So I don't have anything else to add, folks.
I'm very excited about, it's really odd. This is the first time since 1990. I have not been in this building for the start of school. So it's like, but it feels really refreshing. It's great. Mr. Fowler stepped in, is already making changes, switching the office up. Really, I think have listened to some of the things that people have wanted and really just putting him into place. Working on schedules is a joy. And we'll continue to get those ironed out before the first day of school.
Financial enrollment report.
So no enrollment because we're still in summer, but the financial report starts on page 17. So same as what we've seen the last few months, we're on track with where we expected to be for the fund balance. Everything's balanced to the county treasurer. On page 18 through 24, you can see the rest of the funds. I don't normally talk much about those, but the information is in there every month if you want to look at that. The capital projects is getting down there. We've stretched our money in that fund as long as we could, but we did use most of what was remaining to do the drainage projects in the playground and in the parking lot. So hopefully we won't have the lake this year. We're going to be getting some plants for the empty flower bed and planting grass seed in the median between the parking spaces. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier to maintain. I was sad to see the trees go, but they did, mess up our drainage. So we had to do it. Very happy and thankful to the community about the levy passing. That's great news. I said I was going to try not to be a downer anymore, but there has been, I've heard from a few different people, we have money now because the levy passed. And so I know we've talked about it a lot, but I just want to reiterate and make sure everyone understands the situation is that the levy, we had to run it as a renewal. So yes, this is great that it passed. We avoided that crisis that we would have had if we had a double levy failure. It's great news, but it is just a continuation of the funding that we were already getting that is having to be stretched farther and farther due to inflation. We've talked a lot about like our insurance costs rising exponentially, and just other costs that everyone's dealing with, fuel, food, all of that. But like we've talked about, we heard from the community, you need to tighten your belts and not ask for more. So that is what we did. The combination of inflation with the enrollment loss that we've had last year has led to more of these cuts. So, when we hear about the list of cuts, it is very frustrating to have to make those cuts, and no one wants them. I hope that we can get our enrollment back up and have some funds to be able to add things back. But also, we're going to be really cautious about that because the funding that we get per student is based on the annual average. And so if enrollment looks good in September, that is great news. And that's what we're really hoping for. But that doesn't mean that we can immediately jump into bringing some of those cuts back because we have to be cautious in seeing, is that enrollment going to stay over the course of the year? So yeah.
So last year we jumped a little bit too soon.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we're going to need to hold back and make sure that enrollment stays up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just trying to be conservative with the budget. And, again, we don't want to make these cuts ever we do value all of the staff and always want to bring them back. We know they do great things for students. They're tough choices that we have to make to be able to keep the district solvent. So that's where we're at. But I'm hopeful, we were just talking about the number of new enrollments. I'm hoping that we do get some students back and, try to get that positivity going. And hopefully we will be able to be bringing people back soon.
And I'll talk about staffing in a little bit.
Really, are there any public comments on agenda items?
On agenda one?
Yeah.
No. All right, old business policy review and action for 6955.
Are there any questions? I don't have the page number written down. I am sorry. In the old packet? Anyone have any questions about that? That was easy.
Yeah, the old packet is from last month,
Yeah, you don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
but you do have this month.
So you want to bring this one to next one, or because we're over. Or just say it on the
I make a motion to pass policy 6955.
second. Tiana? To the best of your knowledge? All right.
But you bet.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, pass. New policies.
Starting on page 25 in this month's packet. We just have a couple. This is a temporary suspension of a policy. Update, retirement of a policy. And then board member insurance. And that is it. So just a couple. So if you have questions about these over the month, go ahead and give me a call or Mackenzie and we can answer your questions and we can discuss at the next meeting.
All right, new agenda M, high school improvement plan.
All right, in your packet or in your folder, there is the school improvement plan for the high school. And again, I want to just state that Cindy Christopherson worked on this with her staff prior to her leaving. I just did a couple additions and updates, a couple things to it. But you can see that the priority goal, and this goes along with our OSSI grant for school improvement from that needs assessment that we have. The first priority is adult to student relationships. Our second priority is the ELA proficiency. And our third priority is mathematics proficiency. And I did not make this form. This is a format from the state. So our first goal is Darrington High School will increase the relationship summary measure from the 45th percentile from the fall of 2024 administration to the 65th percentile as measured by student responses to the Youth Truth Survey by the end of the 26-27 school year. And the measurable objective is Darrington High School will see a 10% increase from the fall of 25 administration on all questions related to the relationships as measured by the Youth Truth and Character Strong Survey. Sorry, that should have been edited. I just caught that. And by the 2026 administration, so in next fall. So I will fix that one. So again, these goals began when she got the school improvement plan or school improvement grant. And so these were 3-year goals. So we're in the last year of the 3-year goal. So the first first one was started 3 years ago. Now we're at that last time we're going to measure it, will be this year. By mid-year, we should expect to see our scores on the progress monitoring tool to be at or above 65% positive. And we will be taking that initial score here in October, November. We'll take the Youth Truth Survey. So we'll have some data from that.
And that's just high school or also middle school?
This is high school.
Okay.
This is a high school improvement plan. So on the next page, it tells you how we're going to go about doing that. For the last several years, they've been doing the positive greeting at the door. The resources to pay for that is it's a free resource. We've been working with Continua. It's really just there's really no cost to it other than working with Continua on promoting it, adding more pieces. And the student groups that will benefit will be all student groups because it impacts mainly those students that do not feel comfortable at school or feel connected to school. And then the data measures will be, short-term data will come from a building created survey that will take selected questions from the Youth Truth Survey, which will be administered no less than 3 times during the 26-27 school year. And we should see more students engaged in activities around school, like in clubs, athletics, spirit days, etc. This will be measured by the survey described above. And staff are responsible for implementing this practice. The building TOSA, which is now also the dean, will be responsible for measuring and adjusting the evidence-based intervention. So I will make these edits when I submit it. This will occur every day at the beginning of the school day with teaching staff and administrator, and then throughout the day as possible. It will be done. The monitoring will be done through the administration of a building created survey no less than 3 times a year. Data will be reviewed no less than 3 times per year after each survey is administered. The next goal is 80% of students at Darrington High School will be at or above grade level in reading as measured by the iReady reading diagnostic by the end of this school year. And you can see that we are in that last year, so we are looking for 80%. By mid-year, we should have at least 40% measuring at or above on the iReady reading diagnostic. Again, similar format. This is very repetitive, as you can see. They will be using what evidence-based intervention will be the academic vocabulary acquisition. It's targeted for all students. It's a tier 1 intervention. They'll be using continuing to use the book, bringing words to life, robust vocabulary instructions. They'll continue that practice. And all student groups will benefit from this, especially those reluctant to, or the struggling readers, as every student will be exposed to rich vocabulary. Along with that same intervention, long-term data will come from the administration of the SBA test in the spring of each year. Short-term data will come from the iReady diagnostic, as well as, of course, their own classroom-based assessments. The impact is that all students will be exposed to rich vocabulary. We should be able to observe a wider use of tier 2 vocabulary with our students, so higher level vocabulary being used. And all staff are responsible for teaching and assessing academic vocabulary. Advisory teachers will be responsible for the administration of the diagnostic. And then the dean will assist in getting that information out to students, staff, and parents. This will occur, the intervention will occur daily, depending on what classroom they're in. And the iReady diagnostic will occur no less than 3 times per year. The Assessments will be administered approximately twice a month and reviewed once a month. And then the other intervention is on the next page, which is small group instruction. We'll work with Continue Consulting to work mainly with me to then deliver, because our PD is so different this year, then I would deliver the small group and strategies to the staff, because we don't have every Friday or every other Friday for professional development. So that's a role I will take on. Low income and special education groups will benefit the most from this evidence-based intervention, but also the students that have scored predominantly lower on the SVA or the iReady scores. And again, the scores will come from SVA. It'll also come from iReady. We should see students will be provided additional instruction. We should be able to observe an increase in both classroom-based assessments and the school-wide assessments. So not only the assessments we take through iReady and SBA, but their classroom work should also be improving through the small group instruction. And then the staff are responsible for identifying what students need the Tier 2 intervention in collaboration with the administration, using both their classroom-based assessments and iReady. Advisory will be responsible for administering most of those tests. And then the dean will help communicate those scores out to the families and the teachers, the students. That will occur about 2 to 3 times a week, the small group instructions. The iReady will be administered 3 times a year. Classroom-based assessments will be reviewed on a monthly basis. Sorry, that was a typo. Okay, I know, moving along. And goal 3, I'm going to save us a little bit of time, is very similar, but it's math. Okay, so again, academic vocabulary, because vocabulary and math is so important. So that is still a focus. But again, the academic vocabulary is going across all areas, but it will have an impact on these math scores. And then also the small group, double dosing, small group instruction will occur. Okay.
We need a motion to approve the.
I got
Do you have a question? Yeah.
just a quick question,
Yeah.
and probably irrelevant. How many more years do we have with our iReady? Probably like 4?
I thought we had signed a 6-year.
Or was it a 6-year?
So-
Or a 7? So then
So
probably
about
3
4.
years?
no, we've had iReady for a couple.
We have, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so 3.
Yeah, so probably 3 more years.
Okay. just-
I don't know. Time just, it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, I was a strong advocate for iReady, but now from what we're seeing around the nation, a lot of schools, a lot of states are getting away from electronics. iReady has, I believe, about 7 lawsuits against them. So I know we're locked in,
Right.
but you know, like I said, I was a strong advocate. It sounded good, but now what the science is showing us, this electronic to the kid's brain, the stimulus is not good.
Right.
So
You know, at the elementary with,
a lot of districts are getting back to books.
Yeah.
fortunately.
Yeah.
It seemed like a good thing.
and that's what, we are locked into it. Again, the instruction piece, first off, the ELA piece, we only use it for the diagnostic. We do not use the curriculum for our ELA program. For the elementary, we have books. And so that will be continued. For the math, we use the books. They spend maybe,
You can exit days,
Yeah.
the presentations on your program.
10 minutes max per day per student on the pathway.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of time. We're really
It's a
trying to,
misunderstanding of how we teach math.
yeah, so.
And it's nationwide. Everything I've seen on TikTok about it, they don't know.
do TikTok.
I'm not telling
So-
you about TikTok. I'm saying that the information that's out about the anti-IReady information that I have seen, also not on TikTok, has a complete misunderstanding of how we are teaching.
And
So that's
we're-
all I'm saying.
I'm hearing from it from professors at colleges.
Well,
So either way, we are cognizant of the amount of time our students are on electronics. We are looking at how we're using technology. We're changing some of our practices with technology at the middle and elementary level.
Does that also include the high school, or is it just for like middle school and elementary?
Correct. So you guys will still have a 1-to-1 ratio. You'll still have your Chromebooks, 8th grade through 12th grade. You guys do use the online version for a lot of some of your textbooks. And you also have the books though as well. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mix. But we are changing some of the access points for our 7th through kindergarten students. So that'll be, I don't want to share too much before I talk to staff about it, but we're changing the amount of access they're going to have because we know there's a concern. So I do want to point out there, I found a couple typos, so I'll be fixing it up before I send it in. Miss Christopherson didn't even catch them.
That's shocking.
But they,
All right, we need a motion to approve the high school improvement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I need to change the colors out.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed, done. All right, page 31, certificated staff.
Teaching out of endorsement. As we had with Ms. Christopherson, some of our students need Apex for various reasons, credit retrieval. There's just, once in a while, there's a case where it's needed. And Shauna Brown will be overseeing the use of that program. And she's not necessarily certified in all the areas. So she'll be teaching, but she's a teacher of record, so she'll be teaching out of endorsement. So we need to give permission for her to teach out of
Remind me
endorsement.
what Apex is again, please?
It's an online credit retrieval program that we use for if a student like doesn't pass a class, but they fall within the 40% to 60%. They don't quite pass the class. We can put them on like a mastery-based Apex program so that they can get the credit retrieval if they prefer not to do it with the teacher. Sometimes, depending on the percentage, it's too much work for the teacher or whatever they agree to. So it's an online kind of learning
So
platform.
it's supplemental
It's-
to meet
yes.
individual needs.
Yeah,
Right.
it's what Diana Armini used a lot during COVID to be able to meet all the requirements.
Right. Or if a student moves in from out of state and they need or Washington State history, and we're not offering it for,
If
Or-
it doesn't fit into
or
your
doesn't
schedule.
fit their schedule, where maybe it's offering to the 7th graders and it doesn't work. So then we use Apex so they can meet that requirement because we're unable to meet it in the scheduling. So it is very individualized based on the need of the student. That is not our go-to for just,
On the schedule this year, I have 2 students using it for 1 or 2 classes. That's it for this year.
Yeah.
It's required because they need it, but we're not overusing it.
so
I move we approve her out of teaching endorsement.
Yama? All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. All right, 5th grade's going somewhere.
yes. And Mr. Fowler is here to present it. And one of the conditions of his moving to Dean of Students is that
He still gets to go.
he
I wanted to.
still gets to go if he wants to. But he's going to love his new position so much, he is not going to want to leave these wonderful children.
It's on page 32, and it's pretty much the same plan that you guys approved last year. If you remember the first time that it took them a long time. I was super excited to plan it, and they've been more excited to go on it, and the kids had a great time. I think we kind of updated you guys afterwards as well. Really, honestly, the only thing different on here is just like everything in the whole world. I think their prices went up like $10. But you can see that last year I was able to get that down to $85 per kid from grants and donations and such like that. And I plan to get it, so the district isn't paying anything, above and beyond again this year. I still want to approve it tonight if possible. If you guys are okay with that. I talked to Ashley Painter, who's teaching 5th grade, and her response was as expected. But I said, give me your first initial thought, the thing that comes to your head as soon as I say 5th grade overnight camp. She wants to get a couple weeks under her belt just to make sure that they're not going to drive her crazy or do anything wild. But I told her I'd love to help her plan it, let me go on it, let me lead it, whatever she wants. So I hope that we can, as a district, take the kids again this year. But everything's pretty much the same though. If you guys have any questions.
Yeah, my question is, what camp were they going to?
The same one as last year, so Cedar Springs Camp.
Cedar Springs.
Like Stevens is.
All right, we need a motion to approve Cedar Springs.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Yeah.
Would be like Billy, Maggie, you're on.
Thank you guys.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, passed. Food service report?
I just have a quick report. Again, same as PJ, I'd like to point out that the food service department did receive the Rooted in Excellence Award. It included the culturally inclusive meals category from OSPI this spring. We are working on adjusting lunch schedules and breakfast schedules. And as always, Amy is very accommodating to help meet the changes that occur when we realized we had a wrong time listed. And so we'll continue to do that. So it's kind of short this time.
All right, transportation.
As PJ also said, great minds think alike. One of our new buses arrived on the 1st of August. We should be receiving our second bus sometime around December or January. And again, that's money that is accrued over time, and it can only be spent on buses, nothing else. So, and again, as we buy new buses, the depreciation starts, which generates more money. And so it really keeps the cycle in place that our fleet is kept up to date and newer buses. Tony has been working on the new routes. We are going to have the Highway 530 Mine Road route, the Sweet Heaven, then they'll come and pick up Clear Creek students, and then the Sauk Prairie route will then pick up the Bennetville students. We'll have the first buses leaving the bus barn at 7 a.m. to go pick up the 6th through 12th grade students and our ECAP. And then they'll drop our students off at 8 o'clock. They'll turn around and go pick up our TK through 5th grade students. And we'll all have dismissal at the same time. So again, we're doing the double bus run in the morning to provide the planning time that's required for teaching staff. And it is, in the end, it is a cost saver to the district. It's a little bit of a scheduling nightmare, but it is a cost saver to the district. And the reason why ECAP is on a different schedule than TK is because ECAP requirements are different than our transition to kindergarten program. And that schedule has worked for them, and it really wouldn't work going the 5 days a week. So they go Monday through Thursday, and then Friday is the day that they have meetings. They have planning time. It's that day that they're required to have to do that other work as part of ECAP.
Skills Center bus.
And the Skill Center bus, yes, will be running, and they're going to be leaving at approximately 6:25. Taking a little quick detour or stopover at Cicero Looking at Kiki and then hopping back on the road.
Mhm.
I think it's 6:15. Sorry, I just want to clarify.
Huh?
Tony said 6:15 because they are stopping at Pratt Center first.
I just read
Oh,
an
did you?
email out
Okay.
from her. But sometime between 6:15 and 6:25, they're gonna be leaving. They usually meet the first morning and then they work out the time, so between that time. But you won't see that bus on the road right away. They start a little bit later, so there you have it.
I will say, one other thing they did in Olympia last year was add one more year of depreciation on buses. It went from 8-year depreciation to 9 years, so it's gonna get a little tougher to buy buses down the road.
Of course.
Just one more hit to the schools.
Yeah.
Which one has the new bus?
I think Tony loves the new buses, so I think she's gonna take the new bus and do the Skill Center, Rap Center,
Well, we got a new.
And
bus
then-
last year, too, right?
and then they'll just move on down the line. So that's the plan right now.
And sometimes they get attached to their
It-
buses
yes.
and they don't want the new one.
They don't want the new one because for whatever, like we
Yeah.
get used. So
Yeah.
that's their department. They work that out, and I'll let them fight over the new buses.
All right, athletic schedules and overnight trips.
At this time, we have it on our schedule for the Sundome, September 11th through 12th. Again, a lot of that is paid through boosters. At this time, we are not in the Sundome yet. We're waiting. You have to call in, and we're the first alternative to get into this tournament. So, but if we do get in, I wanted approval for the overnight trip. And this is just, we'll have to do it again for the winter schedules once those are settled, if we have any overnight. But this is for the overnight trip for the volleyball team, September 11th and 12th, if they make it.
A motion to approve the overnight trip. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Donna? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, done.
So do you play volleyball?
No, I play softball.
Minimum basic education requirement compliance, page
33. Okay, it might be a correspondence, but I put it in here. So we have the full certification from the Board of Education for the 26-27 school year. There are a lot of boxes to check. I just wanted you to see that. Have it noted.
All right, gifts to the district.
Page 34. In June, I believe it was, I received a phone call from Bite. I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry. Bright Start. They used to be Kids Closet. They're centered in Everett, and they wanted to try this out this year. They picked 2 school districts to help with needs that they might have. And so we sent them our school supply list and some other nurse items that the nurse was wanting, more expensive items, like thermometers are very expensive, some blood pressure cuffs, some things like that, a couple fun things on the list, and then our playground chips. So it was a total of about just over $14,000 that they donated in goods and supplies. Right over there are some of them. So we will continue to reach out to different organizations and groups as we can that fit to see if some of the needs that we have can be filled, to put money back, into our general fund or not take it out of the general fund. So that gets the year started really well. And there may be some other supplies along the way we'll have to get, but they've got the initial big push.
We need a motion to approve the gifts to the district. Motion to approve.
Second.
Kiana? All in favor?
Aye.
Agreements and contracts?
Page 35. A lot of these agreements are just like data sharing agreements, things that we had an agreement with DNR to use our facilities for showers. So they could shower in both the community center and the elementary gym. So we have that agreement with them. So, and Nurse Corps, Northwest ESD. Healthcare Authority.
They sent a plaque to, of their appreciation, did you see that?
I did, and but the,
A lot of the firemen signed it. There was like over 100 firefighters on that very nothing thing.
Yeah.
Really nice guys too.
We need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Kiana? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
okay. Page 36. So there are a lot of appointments. You can read down the list. Madison Merriman is coming back. She really is replacing Ray. Ashley Pater is replacing Brennan. Brevin Ross is filling in the leave replacement for Cam. Gabby is called back with the levy being passed. Lynn Brooks is being called back with the levy. Tony Landon has moved to the lead bus driver. Angel Blake, Isabel Burtonshaw, Hannah Anderson, Christina Cunha, Robert Brooks are coming back in different positions, being recalled back as leave replacements. And then the supplemental contracts are below for Dean of Students, volleyball coaches, and football coaches.
Need a motion to approve the personnel actions? A motion to approve.
Second.
Kiana? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Whew. Board comments. Randy?
Okay. You know, I was really glad we got the levy over the line. What I would like to see us do, because there were a lot of concerns the first time the levy didn't pass, a lot of concerns from the community. I would like to add to at least our next two board meetings on the agenda, a discussion item to discuss what we can do to address the concerns the community had. You know, I look at the community, the amount of kids that live in Darrington School District that don't attend the school district. The state average is about 10%. I think we're pushing close to 20% here. If we can get these kids back into our school district, I think for one, it brings a lot more revenue into the district, and it makes things a whole lot easier for our district to function cohesively if we can get some more kids in here. You know, you go back 30, 40 years ago, parents looked at school districts when they were looking to buy a home. I would love to see families move into Darrington because they want their kids to go to our school district. So I think this is something that we need to address. You know, I look at this chart here that was given out, and what's at the top? the board of directors. So I challenge this board, are we doing our job? Are we making the Darrington School District a place where parents want to bring their kids?
Can you add that to the retreat list?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good place to start. I'm good.
Mark? Oh, just another thank you for the community stepping up and passing the levy and just wanting to keep that positive momentum going. I think, just wanted to do in this direction.
Appreciation for everyone, given that we are very grateful to have passed the levy, but it's going to require a lot of flexibility. And so just appreciation for everybody's approaching things and saying it's going to be different and being flexible with it. It's very much appreciated. I especially want to single out our new deans because we're asking a lot of them, and it's very much appreciated. The response I saw from the community to your doing that was really good, and I think that is wonderful.
Right?
So relieved. I'm gonna cry. It's so cool to be able to vote cry, but get to their jobs.
Yes.
After that last vote. It's a huge relief. Okay.
If you start, we might start. Yes, ditto on the levy thing, and I've cruised around and walked around and checked out the lights and all the work, and it's looking amazing. And question on those poles, anybody getting the poles?
They'll be going to surplus.
Yeah, they'll be up for auction with the tiny house and some of those other things. Yeah, on
We
public
talked about that, I
surplus.
just didn't know if it had already happened.
Not yet.
Okay. What-
I'm working on it.
Yeah, will you email me about that?
Yes.
We'll really do a big advertisement push for the
Yeah,
surplus.
and I have a big list of people too who asked to be notified about the tiny house. So they'll all get an email. Everybody who signed up will get an email once I get that posting up.
I'm good. So now we're gonna do public comments on non-agenda items. Gonna write it, I'd let you. BJ?
Well, you know me, I like to bring props, love to bring props. For the crowd that doesn't know me and everybody knows me, I did bring a big pile of toilet paper to make a point about the losing our counseling. And so that made a point, but my prop today is, first of all, I want to say that I do a lot of these things at school, fun things like baby showers or engagements or something like that. I did a little baby shower for a student who was going to be an uncle, called it an uncle shower. It was for one of our paras who had lots of showers, but I did one for one of the students for that, and it was very fun. So the one that I'm celebrating today, we have, I can celebrate the classified staff member and the certificated staff member. We have a certificated staff member that is the dad, and a classified staff member that is the mom, and we have a boy. So I got a little prop. We're going to have a little cigar. It's a boy. It's a boy. This is a bubble gum. Please don't put it underneath the tables.
Wait, what about me?
Oh, I missed you. I didn't mean to miss you.
I know.
I'm going to give a couple extra over here. And yeah, so the custodial hates that when we put gum under the seats and everything like that. Pass it around, please, if you would. Everybody have a scarf? Secondly, I want to say for Kendra, and Kendra's a little shyer than I am. I'm moving out of leadership for PSC, but does not mean I'm not going to be a leader. I'm continuing a leader. I'm down in the trenches. I'm all over the school. Everybody knows that. And I really want to welcome Christy's coming into that, and she's going to be fantastic. Carrie's coming in under Kendra. Kendra's a little shyer than I am, so she didn't want to come and speak tonight. But I'm still going to be supporting Heather. But right now, I said goodbye to Mackenzie and Tracy today at the labor management, my last one. Of course, they don't, it's not, stick her face, it's not the last time I'm gonna see her. No, it's not the last time I'm gonna see her. Right now, I just want to say, Thank you to Heather. She's fantastic. What a leader. It was my pleasure to work under you. And I will always be there for you. And you guys are all gonna. Anyway, to the board, you haven't seen the last of me yet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna think Randy and I talk, but we don't talk about what we're gonna talk about at the board meeting. But, you know, I was president and CEO of a credit union for 15 years in Spokane. And I probably learned the most from my federal and state examiners who schooled me on how to be a good CEO. And I just thought I'd pass along some advice that one of my examiners gave me about board relationship. And so, in my notes, one of the things he said was, don't let your board find out information from the town rumor mill. Pass along, the superintendent should pass along to all the board members decisions, important decisions that have been made prior to anybody else knowing about that information, because it disrespects the people who've elected them. And so when I was at my credit union, my board was elected by the members. And so in order to show respect to them, to let them see that their voice was heard they would pass information along to a board member, and that board member would bring it to the board. But they shouldn't find out from somebody who's not on the inside before the board knows. And then getting input from each other when an important decision is being made, that everyone should be notified and give input so that you all can hear each other's input, protects the board from making mistakes and protects the superintendent. So the superintendent and the board are like the mom and dad of a family, and they should not be pitted against each other by the children. And so you won't always agree on everything. And Randy and I, we always say, if we agreed on everything, one of us would be unnecessary. But so you won't agree on everything, but it really helps our community for the board and the superintendent to have a united front and not to fight amongst each other and let the public see that. That's a very bad sign of weakness to the community. And so I encourage the board and the superintendent to make a united front, because it's for the protection of all of us. And making decisions with input from each board member is for the protection of all of us, that good decisions are being made. So we have a lot of difficult decisions to make and hard times ahead, but I encourage the board and the superintendent to have a united front. Thank you.
All right, superintendent report.
All right. Yes, quick decisions were made this August. A lot of things happened very quickly. We did offer the principal position to a person, and that person accepted verbally, came in, met us, got keys, was moving up here, had a place to move into, and then for unforeseen circumstances occurred, and they were unable to keep that verbal commitment to the district. And that was 2 weeks ago, I think. And so literally I sat there and went, what am I going to do? It's the other candidates were they were strong, but the committee, I checked in with a couple of the committee members on how they felt about going with our second, third choice. They didn't feel it was a good fit. And just trying to figure out how do we move forward. I made the decision to just check and see. I know that, Brennan Fowler has been working towards his administration degree, and Shauna has been doing a lot of the TOSA work at the high school. They know, they know what needs to change. They know what's going well. And it felt like that was going to be the best road moving forward for this year. And it was, I talked with them first, gave them that option. I believe I sent some communication. I honestly can't remember all the steps that occurred, but I'm confident that already I've seen how things have come up, and Mr. Fowler and Mrs. Brown have just kind of stepped in and reflected, asked me a couple questions, but then have taken the lead and have had already hard conversations to get things moving in the right direction. I'm really excited about the things I'm already seeing. The changes I think are going to meet some of the things, Randy, that you brought up about what, the community has brought up, some of the concerns that they've had. And I think they're both going to kind of address those concerns that were there. And I'm really excited to support them in that. I'm going to stay over in my office, but I'm going to walk the halls. Only give advice when asked. But well, that'll be hard, you guys. It's all public now too. So I'm really excited for their role in promoting the school culture, building those relationships with families and students, and change the staff in a different role that they're going to have. So I think it's going to be a great year. So that's what I feel about the Dean of Students positions. And again, they have the authority. I've designated them to be able to take care of discipline as needed, as we've always done in the district. We'll have that communication of, if a suspension is warranted or something more egregious has occurred, that communication will take place between all of us. But they do have that authority to, if a student needs to go home for the day, they'll be able to take care of that type of discipline. So I feel confident that they'll be able to make those decisions because they've both been proven to be very sound and logical thinkers. So, in fact, I think Mr. Fowler kind of last year said, "What's the policy on that?" Remember? So yes, it'll be great. Yes, we are very grateful that the levy is passed. It's been a huge relief. I'm really excited for our students to be able to continue with their extracurricular activities, the skill center, students be able to get down the road safely and consistently with a skilled driver. I'm really excited about those things that are going to be in place. I am concerned about the budget still. I'm waiting for the enrollment to come, and we will work very diligently to get some of the families have come back that were homeschooling. And I'm just always going to try and keep that open door with our families. And when they're ready, we'll be here to welcome them back as whatever meets the needs of their family. And but I am concerned about the budget, how tight it's going to be. And but I'm feeling optimistic that we're heading in a better direction. I did work on an org chart. I'll be giving this to staff. Do you have any suggestions for it? I kind of wanted to lay out kind of who's in charge of what, how does it work? And we'll have it out on the public. We'll put it on the district website once I make sure there's not another typo. But it just shows that, yes, the board of directors, then I'm under the board of directors, the superintendent, and the director of special programs, which is a learning curve for me right now. And then we have our 8th through 12th grade dean of students, our athletic director, special ed secretary, under me, finance and operations, transportation lead, food service lead, and PK 17 of students, and then who they kind of oversee as well. I listed out the special programs. That's the one I need to make sure I haven't missed on any on. And then kind of on the other box, just pointing out who does some of the reporting for the district that are high focused areas. So do you guys, if you want to look that over, and if you see anything that pops out, I'll have Mackenzie print it for me since I can't print right now. And that again, I plan to kind of communicate that to the staff as well on Friday, which is our all staff day, which will be going over all of our required staff training. And we'll be focusing on some safety protocols, as well as some tabletop exercises for staff to talk about, okay, in this situation, what would you do? How would we move through the buildings? How are we going to evacuate to the different points of evacuation? How do we go through our reunification? All of that will take place on Friday. Facilities was already covered. But yes, you know, a few years ago, we had the capital projects funds that we had for the elementary roof and part of the high school. No, just the elementary roof, wasn't it? And we saved all the money.
Yeah.
Because we kind of carried it
And
ourselves.
so long. It
I
was-
know.
The original capital projects levy was for the elementary roof and
I think that was
no, it was multiple projects, but we saved money on those, and then we were able to do the paving between the high school and the community center.
And
The irrigation system, that was all from savings from the
Yeah.
elementary roof.
remember we talked about that. Yeah.
And then, yeah,
That now the
with
now
what we
the
had left, we
drainage.
did the
So,
drainage.
I think we put that money to really good use, and we will continue to. We have some, you know, as we get more grants and look at different projects, really looking at how can we save the district money and then be able to funnel that money into other capital projects or other projects that fall under the same umbrella. So we will continue to do that. Like we've said, the field lighting project was a grant. The ribbon cutting ceremony for that will be Thursday, the 27th at 9:30 a.m. We're not going to flip the lights on. I was a little disappointed. I was under the impression it would have some lighting features, but these just turn on and off. So
That's an upgrade that we
it's
can
an
do later
upgrade
if
that
we
we
ever
can do
have
later.
any money.
But that was a little bit of a surprise for me. And then the elementary solar project, new solar panels are up here on this roof. That should be completed Thursday as well. And as you can see, the parking lots, the concession stand, everything is ready for the students to come back. And we will be having our open house barbecue on Thursday at 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Invite everyone to come. It's a great event. We have a lot of different community vendors and even some resources from down below coming to provide information to our families. So 5:30 to 7. If it's raining, don't worry. We'll put the tables under cover and then it'll stop raining and we'll continue. So we'll have the covered play area. And so we typically eat outside, and if it does rain, we can have the vendors inside. We'll don't hesitate to come. TK, my last thing I forgot to add is that we do have enough students at this point to go ahead with TK, and we'll keep hoping to get a couple more in there, but we do have enough to fund our TK program.
And who is running that?
Brandy Miller will be teaching TK this year. I can go through who's teaching what, but it's really.
Well, at some point, will you print that out? I mean,
I actually started that, and then I realized I started to spend quite a bit of time on it. Then I realized, wait a minute, we have our phone chart, and it says where everyone is and what they do. So I will forward
Yeah,
the
just
phone
send it.
chart to everybody so you can see
Who's where?
who's where, their main position. So I'll get that to you guys. And then we'll update our website as well with the new teaching assignments. And that is all I have.
All right. Meeting adjourned.